Welcome to the Orange Cactus Coffee Podcast with Mike Kincaid and Jake Goebel. Join them as they experience specialty coffee and document their journey. These friends explore roasts and roasting methods, brewing equipment and techniques, and review the cafes they visit along the way.
That is a smooth voice, the announcer lady.
Yeah, she's not bad. Not bad at all. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 72 of the Orange Cactus Coffee Podcast. Mike and I are joined by Manny G, visiting us again. The last time he was with us was episode 50, so we went a little bit long. If it's too long, let me know. I hope you enjoy it. Let's jump right in.
Hello? No.
It's kind of weird because normally we press record and then we say, okay, we are live. Woo! I'm Jake Goebel. This is Mike Kincaid. Thank you for joining us on the Orange Cactus Coffee Podcast. This is episode 72, and today we've got a special guest again, back from the past, from episode 50. He is back, the one, the only, the Manny G. Can you say what's up, Manny, so they know the Manny voice?
What's up, everybody?
And the Mike voice?
Hello.
Oh, perfect. Thanks, Mike. You're so exuberant. Really appreciate the energy you bring to these shows. Anyhow, this is a show about coffee. We are exploring specialty coffee, documenting the journey. It is normally Mike and I, not because we don't want guests. We really want to have more guests. It's not because Mike is selfish and a jerk, though I know that thought has crossed many people's minds. No, instead, really what it is my
Nobody
ineptitude.
calls us back. Oh.
No, it's my technical ineptitude on, recording interviews and getting people on. But Manny is a pro when it comes to that, having served many hours faithfully laboring for the DRP, the Destiny Reset podcast. So DRP fam, big shout out. Manny, do you want to give the DRP fam a shout out?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
And now we're just back to talk about coffee. And that's pretty. I mean, is that a sufficient intro?
Reasonable.
Yeah, reasonable.
Something
reasonable.
decent.
That is something decent. All right. Well, then let's get right into the first item here, and that is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, but haven't because
Not common for you.
Yeah, I know. Well, it makes me feel a little awkward and a little uncomfortable. And it is something that Mike threw in the show notes. Manny has no idea I'm going to bring this topic up.
I have no idea what's going on
him.
I don't remember either. I got to look.
But it's this idea or this concept of gentrification and how the coffee shop is the model or the spearhead or the icon of gentrification. And I thought to myself, what the heck is gentrification? Mm-hmm. And really, it is a term that has not been used frequently in the in 1950, it spiked maybe in the late 90s and 2000s. All right. And so basically what it is this, and there's battles over the definition of it. All right. But it's the process of renovating and improving a house or district so that it conforms to middle class taste. I think really what it is a representation, or the coffee shop is like it's white. You're trying to make this everything white. I really think that's what it is. You're trying to make you white. So it's the process of making a person or activity more refined or polite. That's what gentrification is. This specific gentrification I want to talk about is in Boyle Heights. And it's just one example of a greater conversation that's going on throughout the country in America. So Boyle Heights is an LA neighborhood.
You ever been there?
I've been through Boyle Heights. Yeah.
I've heard of it.
The history of Boyle Heights is a little interesting, though. It's predominantly a Latino community. And it was, there was a city there in Boyle Heights before California became America, before that area became America, when it was still Mexico. And Boyle Heights kind of in the 50s was predominantly Jewish, Latino, Russian, Yugoslavian, Portuguese, and Japanese. The majority of the Jewish population from the 50s moved out because banks redlined the neighborhood, saying that they would not give not lend to them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the interesting part about redlining neighborhoods. Something that Mike and I know a little bit about is banking, is that every year we have to go through this compliance training that talks about how you may not do this, you can't do this, the do's and the don'ts. And maybe you've experienced some discrimination in lending practices. I have never seen it. In the years that I've been in banking, I have never practiced it, nor have I seen it. And I have not heard of a bank that cares about giving out money to anybody, because really, they're all a bunch of fraudsters anyways. I mean, if you think about the market crash, right? How banks took money, or they knew that they were giving out bad loans that they shouldn't been, when the Clinton administration said, hey, the American dream, we want you to facilitate it, do it now. So they lend to people that had no business getting home loans. They knew the loans were bad. They packaged them up. They sold them to investors. The rest is history. And then they took out insurance on those investments when they knew they were going to fail. I'm summing it up in a sentence, and that's oversimplifying the whole thing. But that really is, in a sentence, what happened. So at the time, they certainly were being discriminated against, it would appear. And the laws changed. So people fought to get laws changed so that discrimination would not happen, so that you would get fair treatment, that you would get banks giving you business, that you would get a nice coffee shop moving into your street. And now when it happens,
economic development,
you don't want it. You don't want it. You don't want the coffee shop. Now, there's some other, studies out there that show that when a coffee shop moves in, property values go up. That's the concern. They're saying, hey, property values go up, rents go up. We can no longer afford to live here.
Yeah.
And that's why we want to stay poor, stay the way we are.
Yeah.
We don't want change. We want to fight change. And it's funny, it doesn't matter who owns the coffee shop. They don't care if it's black, white, Hispanic, Japanese American, Asian American, Korean, whatever. They don't care who owns it. They just look at it as you're a sellout, you're a collaborator, you're a colonist, you're the enemy. And it's so interesting to me because if you take a look at history, you see that neighborhoods have constantly changed. They've gone from white neighborhoods to black neighborhoods to Latino neighborhoods. Neighborhoods in LA and in New York especially have undergone change. Why was there no complaint? I mean, there's always somebody to complain about it. The neighborhood's going down the dumps. Like the neighborhood goes bad, people complain about it. The neighborhood turns good, people complain about it. So anyhow, I've been rambling too much. Manny, what do you got to say about gentrification and the presence of coffee shops in neighborhoods? Anything, or did I drop too much on you?
This is a pretty big subject, right?
It's too big, huh? It's too big for one show, but we're not even going to give it a full show. We're only going to give it 15, 20 minutes.
And Jake took 12 of them.
And I took 12 of them talking.
Well, I mean, if some coffee shop owners wants to start a new coffee shop in a particular neighborhood, or they have to look at their customer base. Is this the neighborhood that they want to sell coffee in and move into? And if the neighborhood themselves just don't want you there, I think there needs to be a reconciliation of ideas between the people wanting to put this coffee shop in a particular neighborhood and the people that live there. So, I mean, there's a lot of shops that start now in towns that have no coffee shops. So they just want to start something new. So there's not a lot of information there. And there might be misconceptions in the neighborhood about what a coffee shop brings and what it means to them. So I think the whole community outreach for a new coffee shop is really important. So like for you guys, whenever you get closer to building a building, right, to having a space, you want to already have customers in your neighborhood that know your brand, that care about what you're doing, and that are just as passionate about seeing you in their neighborhood as you are to be there, right?
Manny, you're absolutely right. For us, it's a little bit different because the majority of the population where we live are whites, and the majority is older. They have a different sense of what coffee is supposed to be. So we're trying to balance what we want to do with coffee with what the consumer base wants. I think that's our challenge. Our challenge is a little bit opposite, but just to touch on it real quick as well, if your customer base doesn't want you there, you're
not going to survive.
You're not going to survive. I'm not going to go. I mean, that's one of the reasons.
There has to be customers there that want it. And I think the difference, if I can jump in just briefly, is that...
No, I don't want to hear you talk.
I was trying to be polite. I was coming no matter what.
Okay, go ahead.
So the difference, I think, for us is in some of these situations, and it's hard because they're outsiders. They're not residents starting a shop. There's somebody rolling in from a neighboring city or someone coming. And usually that's because they've got money. They're coming from a place where they've got money to invest. And a lot of people locals that live in a poorer town don't have money to invest. So it has to come from the outside. So you're absolutely right, man. I think if it comes from the outside, for us, yes, Jake, we have that dynamic that's unique to us. But for me specifically, I've lived here my whole life. I know all the local business owners. I know. So when time comes for us we already have that reputation. We've already worked with the people for 15 years in banking. We've already done, so we already have those connections in the community. And I think that will help us, even especially since we're trying to do something different, So we have their trust a little bit because we've been here. I think that's harder when someone moves in from the outside. And I think they do have to put a little more work into getting the community's trust. Now, that article that we were looking at, that we were referencing, talking about Boyle Heights, there was a lot of support too, they said, from other community members that saw, we're on board with you. And they were walking past protesters specifically to support the business. And so the coffee shop owners were like, we really don't think the majority feel this way, right? And sometimes that's the case. The minority is just the loudest sometimes. And they make you think that they're the majority. And sometimes the majority doesn't want to speak up as loud. And so their presence isn't as well known. But I think I would agree with you, man. I think it does nothing but benefit you as a business owner when you're trying to sell a product, an idea, gain the trust of a community, to get out there and partner with people and do that long before you break ground.
Well, this coffee shop, this whatever wave, what is it called? I don't know. Something wave, Weird Wave. Weird Wave is partnering with other local businesses in Boyle Heights. They might not be doing a good job of I guess, partnering with the community. But I mean, what is the community? Is the community not other local businesses that you're getting baked goods and things like that from? Mm-hmm. I don't know what more they can do. I don't know.
The big premise or one of the biggest issues is that it's a specialty shop, right? And it has this, it's not just coffee. It's not batch brews. It's not little air pots, with coffee. It's these fancy pour overs. It's these, specialty drinks that this isn't us. You're trying to take a culture that's not us and inject it in, and we don't want your culture. I think it goes beyond just a business. It's kind of the product. And I think we kind of face that anywhere we go with specialty coffee for people that aren't used to it. I just want my coffee. I don't need your fancy by the cup brewer, So I think the issue it's pretty dynamic. The reason I shared this though, is just to
alienate listeners.
No, it's because I came Yeah, I hope not.
You had a different motivation besides dragging us through political topics that we normally steer away from.
Somebody else shared this in one of the forums on Facebook and said, "Hey, this maybe we can talk about this and have a good conversation." And people did.
You're not having a good conversation about it.
And people did. And I was surprised that this was even an issue. Like I'm like, wow, they really don't want the coffee shop there.
Yeah.
And so it kind of surprised me that this was even happening.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to look into it a little deeper.
To me, it's crazy because one of the part owner is an El Salvadorian immigrant that grew up in Inglewood. Mm. And now she, right? A woman owner, we can't get behind her because it's, you're a sellout, you're whatever.
Yeah.
We can't get behind the fact that she's an immigrant success story. Nope, we can't get behind that either. We have to protest and fight because it represents something that I don't like.
Yeah.
That I feel is a threat to me. Instead of I celebrate small businesses. I think they're wonderful. And I know how hard it is and how much blood, sweat, and tears they've put into it.
And money.
Lots
of money.
And really coming from El Salvador, growing up in Inglewood, and now being an entrepreneur, it's almost, you are living the American dream. Mm-hmm. Why can't we celebrate her?
Yeah. It makes sense to me. I was trying to find, I always try to, my initial response was I couldn't connect. I don't know why they were protesting. So I wanted to find out why. What does this word mean? Maybe I don't understand.
When coffee shops move in, it typically rents go up. It's kind of a sign of things changing in the neighborhood.
Yeah, so prices rise.
Neighborhood's changing.
Groceries go up. Rent goes up. Cost of living goes up. My salary doesn't go up. And so now I can't afford what I used to be able to afford. And it's your fault because you rolled in with your new business.
Correct.
And so they say, we don't want these businesses because that's a tough situation. Because what are they supposed to do then? Hopefully, I guess long-term economics would say, well, more businesses will come, more jobs will be created, wages will go up, right? Because not only do those businesses have to do business with the other local businesses and they have to pay more. So then they'll in turn be able to pay their employees more. It's like a small little economy. But it takes time.
It does take time.
And that's what's hard to look at. I don't have 5 years to wait for all of our salaries to go up.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think anytime you get great coffee shops in more places, I think the better. We don't have a great coffee shop, third wave shop out here where we live. Manny, you don't have one where you live, do you?
No, not really. I mean, there are a couple shops that are, I guess third wave-esque, but nothing that is, in my opinion, like really special that you just want to be there.
Like a hint of third, like it kind of smells third wave-ish,
like a unicorn frappuccino, third wave.
Yeah, I mean, what is it called? Like a multi-roaster. It's a coffee shop that sells.
Oh, okay.
They're not roasting themselves though.
Yeah, no, they're not roasting themselves. But I don't know. It's there's. I would love to have more where I live, but it's just not nowhere close by.
So, what are you doing to try and help the coffee drinking community where you live in Indiana, Manny?
Nothing.
You're so full of it. If you want me to put you on blast, then I'll put you on blast. Answer the question, sir.
I am working hard at starting a roasting company.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about. What's the name of this roasting company, Manny?
The name of the roasting company is called YellowLeaf Coffee.
Ooh, I like that. It's almost like a multiple meanings there. One, you get that natural caffeine that's going to lift me up out of bed in the morning. Mm-hmm. But in the same sense, I'm going to get that energy, that vibe of community and positivity that comes with your brand as well. So it's not just caffeine that's getting me going. It's the fact that you care about me. Tell me more about this brand.
Well, I mean, that is the idea. I mean, coffee, yes, it's a product that gets people like excited. I know a lot of people who drink coffee, that's the first thing they think about in the morning, mm-hmm. But, I want to carry an encouraging, uplifting theme throughout my brand. So that's kind of the goal. And I think, it's so much time and effort, but it's been really, really fun. But I still got a long way to go.
So how far are you away from selling coffee?
Well, I have a website that I'm working on just a little at a time. It's uplift.coffee. You can go there.
Oh, I'm going.
You can you could throw in your email to get notified when something starts, but that's about it right now. So I'm still working on that.
Okay, my email was thrown in there. Now, what are we looking at? What's the time frame? What are we considering? Where are you at in the process here?
I want to have something to offer by I think within the next 2 months is a goal for myself.
Okay. So it's the first week of August and September.
August, September. I feel like you work for Score or something and you're getting him to commit.
I am getting to Nagi's committing to the whole Orange Cactus Coffee community.
I know.
What you think he was going to come on? You think he was just going to come on and chill, Manny? No. I haven't even gotten into boxes yet.
Get out your calendar.
Get out your calendars. August, September, by October 1st.
Yes.
October 15th. That's a
October
good day.
15th.
I like that.
I mean, and I think
15th.
The most important thing for a coffee roasting company is that they have to roast delicious coffee.
What?
Like it doesn't.
I'm with that. With that.
Okay, there's so many aspects to a good business, to an appealing business, right? Everything from packaging to good customer service. But when you actually have the product in your hand is it good? Is it delicious?
Yeah.
And, so that is, most of my time and energy is spent on figuring out, what coffee do I want to sell? And then, once I have the coffee, how am I going to roast this? And,
the last time you were on in episode 50,
Yes.
you talked about a trip out to California where you were sitting with family and you got some familial buy-in to go ahead and make the order for the Bullet or the Aillio Bullet R1.
Yes.
And I'm assuming that's what you're roasting on and getting this company ready with that roaster. Is that correct?
I am roasting on the Bullet. Yes.
And how's that been going?
Dude, the Bullet is great. It is really fun. It is definitely not, you go through the website and you kind of like look at different information available. And I think some people, and reading through like the Facebook group and the forums, I think some people think that coffee roasting with certain machines is just like plug and play. You plug it in, you pour the beans in, and out comes great coffee. But it's not that way at all.
You got to use
what's that?
The senses. You got to use the 5 senses to be a craft roaster. Handcrafted. Like you have to put your hand in the hot beans.
Yes.
This is done. You have to smell.
I mean, you have to really,
hear.
You can get all this information, about, what temperature should I drop my beans into the roaster? How do I manage a roast curve? How do I manage airflow? How do I manage drum speed? And there's so many different things you have to know about. And even if you take a class and you get all the information that is out there, you can't just get up and go on a machine. Every machine's different. So you have to learn, how does this machine respond to airflow? How does the temperature in this machine react when I drop the beans in? And, so you have to spend a lot of time getting to know your equipment. And once you're really comfortable with it, then, after that, after you know what your machine is capable of, then you want to find some good coffee to roast in it that you want to offer to people. So that's been a pretty big journey and a lot of fun. And man, I've been roasting a lot.
So the coffee that you're gonna roast and get ready,
yes,
people can sign up at uplift.coffee to be notified when that's ready to go. You're committing to having that ready by October 15th. A store up and ready to go, ready to sell coffee, because I am going to be the very first customer. What is the end goal here? Do you want to own a cafe and like have a retail establishment out there? Or is it just, a little bit of a roasting, maybe a hobby, maybe a little bit more, but, just kind of roasting coffee?
Well, I think I've told you guys before, but it's beyond just, ambition and wanting to start a company. It all started with the desire for me to provide financial stability for my son, who is about to turn 2. He was born with Down syndrome. So, over the last couple years, you kind of worry, you don't ever want to put these limitations on your children, but you want to plan for the future. So I don't know what my son is going to be capable of, but I want to be able to provide a financial security for him by the time he needs it. So I love coffee. Roasting was a hobby. And I thought, if I can make a roasting company work, then I can have this built-in business that I could use to help him either support himself or just, I don't know what's going to happen, but that was the motivation. And the goal is to just have a roastery that can bring in money, So I know it's a broad idea and a broad vision.
Yeah.
So specifically, do I want to open cafes? Do I want to do this and that? I don't know. I'm not sure. I really don't know what I'll be able to do because, it's just me. I have 3 kids total. I'm married and, I got a full-time job that I don't plan on leaving. So I have to work around these parameters for now and kind of see where I go from there.
It sounds like you've got some positives there, though. You don't have a partner that's dead weight that you have to drag along with you into your coffee journey.
Yeah.
Unlike Mike, who has to
of clarity,
has to drag a partner around with him. So there's definitely some pluses there.
Yeah, there's pluses and minuses. Because I mean, I think it's great. There's so much value to have somebody there that you can share ideas with, that you can receive feedback from, and you can work back and forth, because it's pretty easy to get kind of stuck in your own box, and it's like, that was something I was thinking about with like just the kind of coffees that I like. Because, I like trying new coffees and different things. And I kind of have a story about trying new coffees.
Yeah, let's get right into it.
But, we get stuck in our box, and it's like, I feel like you're training your palate to just like a certain thing, right? So it's kind of good to expand, but.
Yeah.
No, my palate trains me to like certain things. I have to force my palate to expand. So what you been drinking? What's on your horizon for your coffee review here, Manny? What have you been what coffee, where'd you get it from? Are you ordering? Are you scouring the internet? How did you come across it? What's up?
All right, well, I have a story. Now this is not a complete review because I have not tasted this coffee. But I have some.
Okay. Hold on, Manny. Hold on a second.
That's a good.
Let me say back to you.
I like it.
Okay.
What you said to me,
okay.
Because I don't think I understood it properly.
No, you did.
You ordered coffee.
Yes.
And you want to give us an update on this coffee, but you haven't drank any of it yet.
That's right.
This is the same guy who said that the branding is important and everything else is important, but really what matters is the coffee and the taste of the coffee.
That's right.
Okay. I got it. You got it. Okay.
You got it.
All right. I try to be really selective with coffees that I buy on the internet. I try to just go with roasters that have a good reputation, that, usually I'll check out their Instagram and see what people are talking about and stuff. But every once in a while, I like, I just want to find something different, because there's hundreds of roasters out there. You just want to, there's stuff out there that I'm missing out on, I'm sure. So I found this particular roaster on the internet, and they've been around for a long time. I don't know how many years it's been. Let's see. They've been around since 1998. So it's a pretty long time. And they say that they roast freshly roasted specialty coffee. So that has some kind of expectation, right? You expect it to be, you expect it to be fresh, obviously. And you expect it to be of a certain quality, right?
Yes. So
I ordered this coffee, and it was like $17 a pound plus shipping. And it's funny because, we've been talking about packaging and stuff. And when I got it in the mail, and you know how the post office will give you free priority mail packaging, which is great. That is a huge savings.
I've heard of this before.
But they give, there's options, right? You can choose different types of packaging from them for free.
Well, that depends, because if I show up and it's closed, then I just get what's in the lobby. And frequently what's in the lobby, never mind. I was going to use an analogy I realized is in poor taste, and I'm going to exercise self-control.
Okay,
so you can appreciate that. But the bubble wrap is not always, the bubble wrap envelope is not always available. Sometimes it's just the paper and the cardboard that's available.
You can go to the website and order as many boxes as you want, and they'll ship them to your house for free.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You
is that a good way? Do I want to, if I order pickups, will it be like a postal carrier, my regular postal carrier that will show up? Or if I order a pickup, can I specify what time I want them to show up at my house and pick it up?
If normally it is going to be your carrier, and basically they just get a notification that they have to pick something up from your residence that day. And that's pretty useful if you're not going to be there, or if you want them to knock because you don't want to leave something at your front door for them to pick up.
Yeah, I guess my thing is that they show up in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And I want that thing, I'm in Prescott. I want that thing in Phoenix. I want that thing in Las Vegas for its first stop in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Before my mail carrier shows
up. It
up.
all depends on how your station operates. But, depending on the day.
Well, how am I supposed to figure that out, Manny? I can't walk in and say, how does this station operate? They're gonna call the cops again.
The post office runs off of a 24-hour clock. So if you take something and drop it off at 8 a.m, there's a good chance that it's still there at 5 p.m. that night.
But when I track it, I can see where it goes.
Sometimes. Right? To a certain extent.
Okay. Do you want to be right or do you want to be helpful here, Manny? What's going on?
He's trying to protect the innocent, and you keep trying at it. He's trying to avoid. And Manny, you know so much about this shipping option. I think it's pretty interesting how you study the Postal Service on your free time is what you do, right? Yeah,
I do. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So
I study
for all our shipping questions. We go to Manny.
I study what shows up on the tracking because I want to know.
Like those times when it says delivered and you're standing at the front door and you're like, no,
it's not here. Yeah.
Yeah. So
or like, why did it go on certain days or certain deliveries? Why did it go to Prescott first, then to Phoenix, and then back to Prescott? I want to avoid those.
200-mile round trip.
Yeah.
I don't know. What were we talking about before this?
Okay.
We were talking, like Manny was very slowly getting into a coffee review that he hasn't drank yet.
Okay.
Right.
Well, all right. Well, let me tell you about this experience. So I received this coffee not in one of the bubble mailers that keeps it nice and safe, not in a box, but in one of those party mail envelopes that's made for paper.
The bubble ones don't always do a good job of keeping them safe either. But go ahead.
Okay, so it came in this very thin paper, and it was beat up so bad.
Was it in one of the Tyvek mailers, or was it one of the thin cardboard ones?
The paper cardboard. No, not even cardboard. It was like, it was like a
cottony paper, like a fibrous.
Yeah, it was like cardstock.
Cardstock.
Okay.
That's how was it? What was it? Stone axe handle, axe handle,
something like that.
Stone handle axe.
Oh, you're talking about the
speckled axe. Yeah, that's how speckled axe showed up, all beat to hell.
But it's like, look, you have all these free options. They'll give them to you. They'll even mail them to you for free. Pick a decent envelope or a decent box.
Just something decent.
So I thought, all right, fine, whatever. So I opened it up, and I thought this was pretty cool. It's just the label on there. It's just, one of the brown bags, right? There's no like release valve, right? But the label on there, it says roasted for Manny, July 28th, 2017. It says it right there on the package. So I thought that is pretty sweet, right?
That is cool. It had your name on it?
Yeah, they printed my name on it.
Nice.
So I thought that was cool, but all right.
Unless it's a gift.
All right, now this is when it turns into a train wreck. I open up the bag and I give it a smell, and this coffee stinks.
What?
It stinks.
Like what?
Like it's rancid?
Like flowers?
Like rancid. Like rancid. Whenever you roast a coffee past second crack and all of those oils are released, those oils can go rancid within a minute, right?
What did you order?
I ordered an Ethiopian natural Sodoma.
I gotcha. The Guji. Yes.
The naturally processed?
Yeah, I'm looking at yes, it's a natural. And this is cool. I mean, their website has a lot of good information, and you read it and you're like, wow, this sounds like a really good bean. There's even a video.
I don't think you mentioned the website.
Dude, I just don't even want to say it.
Just say it. It's too late. Just say it, Manny. You paid money. You paid money.
Fine. It's oldbisbeeroasters.com from your neck of the woods, right?
Yeah. This is getting personal, Manny.
It's getting
on
personal.
Arizona Roasters.
Okay, so I said, I haven't tried this coffee yet. I'm probably gonna give it away, but
before you got to try a cup.
Perfect. I'll give you Mike's new address. He's moved, and you could just.
I will try a cup, but there is so much oil in here, and it stinks so badly that I just don't think I'm gonna be able to.
We got here from their own website on that bean you ordered. The aroma is sweet and fruity. dried apricot, cherry, and crushed berries. The ground aroma is blueberry. In the cup, the flavor is sweet and light with a hint of hops. The finish is sweet sugar cane.
Well, Manny, did you pick whole bean, automatic drip, French press, Keurig, or espresso?
I chose whole bean.
What is Keurig?
Is that like in a K cup? Do they put them in K cups?
It's a K cup grind. It's a grind
it's
ready
for the
for
adapter.
You. For the adapter.
Oh.
For the black bullet or the gray bullet that goes in there.
So listen, the reason why I pulled the trigger on this is because they have like a little YouTube video embedded here where the guy talks about the coffee. He is so excited about this coffee and how delicious it is. I'm like, I've got to try it.
Do you think it would help Mike and I sell more coffee if there was a video of one of us talking about the coffee on our store?
That's why I bought this dude's coffee.
Do you think it should be Mike in the video or myself in the video?
Maybe both.
Very well played, sir. Very political
With the maybe and the both. Yeah, two good choice words.
Maybe and both.
That's interesting,
so
though.
maybe this is just half of a coffee review.
Now, you bought this same bean from Sweet Maria's and roasted it, did you not? Or is it just from the same area?
Well, it is. I don't see where they are, who their importer is.
But it's an Ethiopian Guji that you're working on preparing for us for October 15th, right?
Yes.
Was it naturally processed or was it washed?
They're both natural. It seems to be that this bean is from the same area.
Natty blueberries to the face? And I got to wait till October, Manny?
Well,
Manny.
You personally probably won't have to wait that long, but everybody else does.
Wow.
Does that make you feel better?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
Great.
Does Mike have to wait till October, though? Please tell me Mike has to wait.
That's fine. 15th. It's a good day. I'm telling you, it's the best day. But reading this, I'm almost inclined, Manny, because I see what you're talking about on their website. Going back to Old Bisbee here, they got so much good information.
Yes.
That I'm wondering if they dropped a bad batch and shipped it out. Like, I still want to give them the benefit of the doubt that you don't put all these. I mean, you could, but to me, you don't have all this information with all this detailed, the aromas and the body, the cup, the finish. Go through all this, charge that price, and it shows up beyond burnt and rancid. It just, something doesn't add up, and
I know we've talked about like roast level, right? Like if they honestly would have said what their, even if it's their idea of a roast level, if that would have been there like front and center, I would not have bought this. If they would have said, hey, this is going to be
dark,
super dark,
black,
then I would have thought, well, maybe I'll look at something else.
They even give me what soil type it was grown in. I've never seen that before.
The soil sample comes with the beans.
This is
like when you get it,
but it's in the same bag. So
it's in the same bag, and it was all beat to hell. That's why I couldn't even take a look at it.
Okay.
We send ours in special earth boxes.
Yes.
Oh, that's great. Well, Manny, I got to keep you on track because you're talking too slow for the Orange Cactus community. They're used to this 100 miles an hour kind of speech. All right. So let's move on. You went out and got coffee somewhere recently, didn't you? You have a coffee experience to share with us, Bubba?
That's my only coffee experience I have.
Oh, wow. That was a terrible transition on my part. My apologies.
Don't worry about it. Jake, he'll take over. Gladly.
I got something. Oh, yeah. I missed the sound of my voice. You've been talking too much. I went out to this place called Black Dog.
What do you think of that name real quick? Does it sound like, ooh, that's appetizing?
Well, Manny, I want to give you the full picture. It says Black Dog Coffee and it says come, sit, stay.
Brilliant
tagline. Do you like it?
Funny. No, it's hilarious though.
Doesn't care for it. I had the same thing. I wasn't sure if House of Cats coffee. Like,
is there like a theme,
Crazy as cats. Cat lady coffee. I don't know.
Well, I mean, like there's a I think it's in Nevada. Maybe there's a coffee shop different. Called
that's
Bad
a
Owl.
Cat House. No. Stop, Manny. Stop.
Well, have you heard of Bad Owl Coffee? They have. I saw them on Instagram, and their whole theme is like Harry Potter. Like all their drinks are like around this particular theme, and it's really well done. So,
I've
like,
seen that.
is
Yeah,
this
the Harry
is
Potter
this
themed
dog
cafe.
theme like really well done?
No, but I can tell you that the missus thought it was cute.
Yeah.
When I brought home the business card, and she's like, "Oh, that's cute."
Sure. I
And
can see that.
I was gonna, but I
There you
didn't
go.
want to get in an argument because I was like, "Baby,
What, you?
it has nothing to do with coffee." And there was like you walk in and there were not that the
Careful,
orange
buddy.
cactus
Careful,
does either.
yeah.
But listen, when you walk in, it's not like there was a theme of dogs. There was not like
Was there
little
no
biscuits.
dog there?
No, there was no.
There has to be a
there.
dog to the owners had
But there was no dog theme in the rest
you
of the
couldn't tie it
cafe.
together by
No,
looking
there
at
was
it.
nothing to tie into it. Except
That's-
there's maybe a picture of a
What
dog.
kind
There
of
was no
style was
cactus
it?
around. It was that shabby chic style.
Like a whimsical a little bit.
What does whimsical even mean, Manny? I don't
You
know.
know. You know, and
It was that
Okay,
shabby
that's
chic
kinda
kind
funny.
of worn stuff. Kind of, it looked like it could double as a antique shop as
Okay,
well.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
All right, good deal.
That's
So,
not whimsical though, is it?
I don't know.
Manny, is that
Well-
whimsical?
I'm not too sure how we're using the word whimsical here.
When I think of whimsical, I think of like an old school carousel. Like
Oh, well then yes. There was an old school carousel in there.
I think of whimsical. Like some
But
of the
no
bag,
dog.
some of the bag designs of Brandywine, I would classify as whimsical.
Okay, then this is not whimsical. No. But on the menu, I liked the menu. It was simple, but they have just a picture of a dog on there. And then espressos, under espresso, they had latte, cappuccino, mocha, white mocha, dulce, and macchiato. And then they had drip coffee, nitro coffee, cold brew coffee,
Nitro?
nitro.
Wow.
And then they had two drink sizes, standard and giant. Standard was 12 ounces, 2 shots. Giant was 20 ounces, 3 shots.
That is giant. That's big.
And I was going to say that math doesn't add up. You know, if you put 2 shots in 12 ounces, that's 1 shot per 6 ounces.
Mhm.
And then you're adding 8. Now you're watering down the recipe here.
So we should be at 18.
18 ounces.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I asked the gal it was good. They were very polite, but I asked the gal and I said, "Where does your coffee come from?" And she said, "Oh, some roaster in Cave Creek."
Bisbee. Oh, no.
Bisbee, Old Bisbee. It's good. We like it.
Man.
And then the barista said, "Well, our drip coffee comes from Cave Creek. Our espresso comes from Prescott Coffee. Rich, big shout out to Rich and Prescott Coffee Roasters."
Wonder why they have 2.
Because they want a specialist to come in and assist them,
Help them with the espresso.
help them with the espresso
That
and
makes
dialing
sense.
their drinks in.
That's cool.
There's no
So what
no
you
doubt
get?
about
I know
it.
you talked about this briefly. So you got a couple drinks.
I got 2 mochas. I was going to try just straight espresso, but I think I had just come from your place, Mike, and I just had coffee, and
yeah.
I was already
That was fresh coffee.
ready
that
to
was
ready.
roasted like 10 minutes
I was
before you got
already
there.
ready at that point.
Yeah, gotcha.
Didn't want to get too much more caffeine going, or else it might have been all over.
Where's Jake? We haven't seen him. It's been 12 hours. I have no idea.
Bad things happen. bad things happen.
So we're going to go back then.
Yeah, we got to go back. We're going to go back. In fact, I'd like to record from there. It was a nice little, though the first thing I walked in, I thought it was like a cat house, not a dog place, because I walk in and there's like this couch and there's this dude laying on this couch and this chick like laying on him. And that's the first thing you see when you walk in, because the way
Like
the door
real
opens,
people, not mannequins.
like humans. Like humans, and they
Live.
kind of look up, like you walk in on somebody in their bedroom. And my first thought was like, oh, excuse me.
Wrong door.
Excuse me, wrong door. Is there another entrance that is not the intimate room?
Yeah.
But no, they were just kind of reclining very comfortably and
Maybe it was a
casually.
couch.
It was
Some
a couch.
couches like promote that. The middle springs have given out, so you
Yeah.
slide together.
Yeah, it was. Well, something else was promoting. I don't know what promotes those types of things. I don't know what promotes that kind of behavior, Michael. But it was interesting. It was interesting. It was definitely worth visiting again.
As long as it wasn't like a sofa bed, then that'd be going too far.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it wasn't quite that comfortable.
Not quite.
No,
But that is interesting.
They
I know
have
what
a
you mean.
no
But that's
dog.
not the shop's fault per se.
it's not the shop's fault per se, but as the first impression.
Unless you go to the bar and then the barista gets up off the couch and walks around the counter. Can I help you? You're like, oh yeah.
Or
Sorry-
that's
sorry
the
to
greeter.
interrupt. Yeah.
Like the greeter, like she looks up and says, "Hey, what do you want?" Are you staying? Do you want it to go?
Couch, I'll be right over. That's
right.
what you don't want.
Sit at that couch. I'll be right there. Take care of you.
Now the come sit stay is making more sense.
Uh-huh.
I gotta go. I just realized I gotta go ship something. I'll be back.
I had a scone there as well. The scone was delicious.
Nice.
But why was it not in the shape of a bone or something? You know what I mean?
To follow through on the theme.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Remember Chris, his wife baked us some cactus cookies.
That was
great.
I think you're right. I think, down a couple blocks is the Raven Cafe, who we've talked about before. Their theme, you think, what does a raven have to do? Well, it's just like with any name, but you go in there, you get the feel. Like when you think of a raven, you kind of
goth.
A little bit, yeah. They inject just enough of that to say, okay, there's a connection, but it's not too dark for my taste. It's just more, they've got some unique, darker type of like steel work. What you would call it?
I don't know.
You weld them, put them together.
Yeah.
And, like sculptures.
Oh, okay.
That kind of fit the theme, but they're not,
like not steampunk, not
full on. Yeah.
not full on, but
They've got like a mural of Prescott, I think, up on one wall, but it's done a little differently. It's not bright and cheerful. It's not something you would see at Uplift Coffee, but
no,
it fits the Raven theme. So
at Uplift, I would expect a lot of like clouds and kites, and I would expect to float in and float out. You know what I mean? I would expect something very open and airy, and light colors, and I would really expect the friendliness to be on 12.
Sure.
There's just going to be like bean bags everywhere and just a glass ceiling, so you can see
that. I'm already there.
An aquarium in the floor.
I'm so
great.
there with sharks. No, that's not uplifting. Hold on. But like with come
Stingrays.
sit stay with like Black Dog, you almost kind of expect I don't know, kind of like a hippie vibe, don't you?
Well, was there any like pictures of dogs on the wall?
Maybe. Manny, I mean,
he was too preoccupied with the couple on the couch.
Yeah.
You don't
Sounds weird. It kind of sounds weird. I mean, okay, in my mind, if that's the name of it, then fine, because like you mentioned the Raven Cafe or whatever, and
Orange Cactus Coffee. Who are we to judge?
Yeah, but it's like, but then they have that tagline, so you're expecting dogs. I don't know.
I think you're right. I think you would. Now, I read some of the reviews on there, and people are like, when I think of, because Prescott's got kind of an expectation for visitors, for tourists. It's like a quaint, small little town. You got a lot of antique shops, a lot of
and it's next
vintage,
to an antique shop.
And so people are like, this is perfect. This is what I expected when I come to Prescott.
Yeah.
It fits the motif.
It does.
So I think they're playing on that. And I think based on the reviews, they're doing quite well.
Yeah.
So they've got that theme. But yes, there is, I think, a disconnect from the name. I want to say we should find out. I bet you the name has personal significance. There was a black dog somewhere in someone's life.
I think
Possibly.
the same owners that own the cafe own like the Five and Dime next door or whatever. I think it's Five and something.
Yeah.
It's almost like if they could have just kept it one name, I think they would have been fine instead of splitting it up.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Anyway.
Who am I to say?
We're not.
I mean, I dress up as an orange cactus on the weekends and I run around at fairs.
Ultimately,
Itchy the cactus.
we're about the coffee.
Are you going to have
we're
a
about
mascot?
the experience.
Are you going to have a mascot, Manny, for Uplift?
Ooh, what would it
I
be?
should.
What would it be? Would it be a hang glider?
Oh, that sounds fun. No,
I've got an 8-year-old I can sell you.
Reminds me of the Jimmy Dean sauce. Is it Jimmy Dean? The breakfast when they're all dressed up like one's the sun.
Oh yeah,
Something like a cloud, Manny. Walking around.
Oh, I like that. A cloud.
That's a good idea.
Maybe knocking stuff over. Excuse me. I just got to get outside.
Sorry.
Bring people in.
Sorry.
Yeah. Can you back up?
Knocking people's coffee over on them.
Oh, we need another one. Table 3.
Yeah.
So,
can I get a refill over here? They need
your cloud knocked it over.
Your cloud's knocking stuff over.
Good stuff.
And then he has a villain, which is like the lightning cloud. Like he's a big fluffy cloud, and he's walking. And every Friday nights I have cage matches. There's the dark cloud with the lightning bolt coming out.
It always ends in a cage match.
Yeah, coffee cage match.
Yeah, well, it could
That's
be a
gotta
good
be a
publicity.
thing.
It's not my thing. Cat and Cloud came up with it. The two clouds. Uplift Coffee, Cat and Cloud Coffee. The Cloud Coffee Cage Fight.
Together,
Cloud Coffee Cage.
unstoppable storm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
So okay, I
Sorry,
can't see you guys. We're
you're
not doing
get back
video
on topic.
chat, but are you guys drinking coffee right now?
I was drinking a mocha frappe. Is that what it's called? With hot chocolate.
Is that from
Freeze.
McDonald's?
Oh, a Mocha Freeze. A Mocha Freeze. Not from McDonald's, though Ronnie McDonnie is coming for you
Yes.
and your uplift out there in Indiana. Ronnie is coming, bro. And no, this is from YellowLeaf.
YellowLeaf.
Why do I keep calling it
I don't know, but I
Lemonleaf?
love it. I wasn't going to correct you.
YellowLeaf. This is from YellowLeaf. I got it with hot shots. It's either that or the lady thought a lot of Mike and she wrote hot shot on it.
No, I asked for
Oh, nice.
Oh, you asked for the hot shots. Okay.
hot shots, which I prefer instead of the cold brew, which is used more frequently now with the cold drinks.
I don't like the concept of using cold brew.
What do you think of cold brew, Manny?
Man, the more I think about it, the less I like it.
Mm.
I don't
Why is
drink
that?
it. I don't like the flavor.
Yeah.
I think it's just, I don't know. I think coffee is special, especially especially a specialty coffee.
Yeah.
The
Specialty coffee is especially special. I got you, Manny.
Yeah.
You're going to fit
You
right
want
in
to-
around here, bud. Are you sure you don't want to just open up an Orange Cactus coffee shop and just, not know what you're talking about? Because that's what we're doing here.
I mean, you want to taste the origin of these beans. You want to taste why is this special. You don't want those flavors muted. When I drink coffee that has a certain type of acidity, I don't want it to go away. And that's kind of what cold brew does. It kind of like, lessens that acidity because it's not getting extracted, and there's supposed to be more sweetness and stuff, but I want to taste it's just my preference, right?
Sure. Yeah. That makes sense. What about iced coffee, brewed hot and then chilled? What do you think of that?
I am drinking this, the coffee that I've been roasting, I'm actually drinking it from the cold wave. So I brewed it on the Kalita 155, put it in the cold wave, got it real cold, and I'm drinking it with ice.
Like straight from the cold wave device?
No, I poured it into a cup.
Oh, okay.
It's fine if you are, Manny.
We can't see you.
Yeah, we're not judging you.
You got a straw. That's
Yeah.
good.
Totally
Yes.
good. Now, do you take the ice that you put into the cup into account, or what's your ratio when you brew into
No,
the
because
cold wave?
I don't, because I normally don't drink it with ice unless it's a big glass that I'm going to want to be cold the whole time.
Mm.
So like right now, I don't always, but I did throw a bunch of ice in here. And, there's not much of a temperature change because the cold wave gets it down to like 34 degrees.
Oh, nice.
So I'll throw in some ice, but I brew it like a normal cup of coffee, and then it's
So you use
flash chilled.
the
There you go.
155?
Yeah, I have.
How do you brew that? What do you like to do with that?
I've been using the Chemex a lot. I just got a Chemex like for the first time, and it's great. But
I think some peer pressure had something to do with that, but
yeah, but it's been really great. I really, really enjoy it. And you know what?
Which cup Chemex do you have? The 3, the 4, or the 3, the 6, the 8?
The 8.
Did you know there was a 13?
There's an 8 and a 10. There's a 13.
there's a 13,
There's a
Manny.
13.
I found a 13.
Oh my goodness, dude.
The $110.
Remember I was complaining about nothing being big enough?
Yeah.
I think I might have found it.
You found it. Yeah. Now, we've had some, and I'm going to let you get back to your ice.
All right. I want to,
cold
because I do
story
want
in
to talk
just a
about the
second.
Kalita wave for a minute, but go ahead.
Oh, again, man. If you want to hear Manny talk about the Kalita wave, tune into episode
He's
50.
only our guest.
50. Okay, back to
If you
episode
wanna hear
72.
Jake talk, tune into every
Okay.
other episode.
How much do we wanted to get, or we had a question about 1,400 grams of water in and 90 grams of coffee. How do you make how do you use the big one? How are you using the 8 full cups? Or are you putting like 20 grams in there? What are you doing with it?
I have tried it up to 900 grams, I think. and it was just
900 grams of water or 900
Yes.
grams of coffee?
900 grams of water. 900 grams of water. Or yeah,
Still
and it
brewing.
was just too much, I think.
Mm.
How long did it take you to do it, to get it?
It was like 8 minutes or
Okay.
more.
Yeah.
It just took too long, and I just
Yeah.
thought this is not fun, because for a while I was taking like a big thermos full of coffee, and then a second thermos with like cold coffee that I ran through the cold wave,
Yeah.
and then like another little cup to drink like on the way, and I was kind of going overboard, I think.
That sounds terrible.
It was a dark place for sure.
I'm happy that you've come out of that, man.
Welcome back.
Yeah,
Welcome back.
welcome back.
Yeah, because like today I've only had like 6 cups of coffee today, so I think I'm doing a lot better.
That's better.
That's much better. I feel much safer. Now, okay, go ahead and go back to the cold wave that you wanted to talk about.
Okay, cold wave's awesome. I know you guys have talked about it. It's fantastic. I'm still
the
loving
Kalita
it.
wave. Sorry, the Kalita
The
wave.
Kalita wave. I normally use the 185. It's really good, but I think, in my opinion, my favorite brewing device that I have ever used in my life
All time.
of all time, and I haven't used all of them. There's still a lot that I
Hold on a
don't
second. Before you do it, give a pause so I can add some music, like a drum roll or something.
have. Okay. All right. Favorite brewer is the Kalita 155. So I don't know.
Is it smaller? Is that why?
It is smaller. It is really small. When I first got it, at first I thought it was like, did I get the right thing? It's like so tiny. It's like super small. I want to put like a hook on it and put it on my Christmas tree. Like I thought it was like an ornament,
I
right?
got the playset version.
That's kind of
Super tiny.
the stag
Yeah.
dripper. The
Is it?
X is smaller. Yeah.
So I normally brew a cup of coffee with 18 grams of coffee and 288 of water,
Why
or
don't you
20
round up
grams.
to 20 and 300, Manny?
Well, 20 and 320. I'm a 16 to 1 kind of guy.
What?
I'm not a 15 to 1.
This is, I think, the
not.
moment of intervention here.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm just not. But I mean, it is, as far as like getting the most out of a coffee, I feel more consistently I can get it with the Kalita 155.
Now, do you find that that's better or worse for, kind of the fruitier coffees or the nuttier, chocolatey coffees?
I feel that way across the board over everything I brew.
So it's just no matter what you're brewing, the Kalita 155 is.
And it's like,
where
I
it's
know,
at.
Mike, you talked about like Socratic coffee, talking about having better extraction when you're using smaller amounts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe there's some truth to that.
Yeah, there might be.
Yeah.
Their graphs say there is, or are, or
B.
B.
Now,
They're doing all those crazy studies. And then you've got Tetsu over there using the AeroPress, both chambers, doing small amounts and combining them.
yeah. If Tetsu's doing it, I got to do it.
There's a reason for it. So I don't know. It's interesting. So you're getting a better extraction. Maybe it's easier to control at a smaller amount, making sure everything's saturated and the time and the grind. Maybe if your grind is off, it's like, right, when you're off by a certain degree, the farther away you get from the axis from the beginning of that degree is the more
From
you
the what?
digress.
The Axios?
Yeah, where it V's off.
I've never heard of an Axios before.
It's
Oh,
new.
It's new. Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
Manny. Look it up. Wikipedia. I think it's actually in the Urban Dictionary.
Isn't it Wikipedia?
So the farther away you get,
All right. So
Is
just to
that
get it
the
out
variance?
there, Kalita 155, I use 20 grams of coffee, 320 grams of water at 205 degrees, and it takes 3 minutes from bloom to finish.
nice. How many pours do you do? You do a bloom?
I do a bloom, and I don't know why, but I normally do 40 seconds of bloom.
How much water? Do you double it?
Yes. So so if I'm using 20 grams of coffee, I pour in 40 grams of water.
Do you use porcelain or do you use metal? Do you use glass? What is
I
it?
have the stainless steel. The little metal one with the handle.
The little metal one.
Yeah.
Little stainless.
Dude, it's great. It's really
All
good.
right.
It's great. You just never overfill it because it'll ruin your day.
But you don't use that. You use the 185 when you're making multiples.
Yes. If I'm like, man, I really want to just drink some coffee and I only want to make it once, then I'll use the bigger one.
Oh, see, I like making coffee over and over and over and over and over and over and over all day long. I really do.
Yeah. No, I wasn't kidding about how many cups of coffee I've made today. It's been quite a day.
Do you find now that you're roasting more and wanting to try more that you're brewing smaller cups to compensate, or no, not so much?
Well, what?
Say that again, Mikey, please.
What I'm saying is that was a problem I had with wanting to try so many coffees. Like if I have a roast and I've done that roast 3 different ways and I got a different bean I've roasted 3 different ways and I want to try them all.
Yeah.
I would brew smaller cups of each instead of having my full 300-gram cup, times 6. I cut it in half.
Well, there is something to be said about just going through the whole brewing ceremony, right? Quote unquote. It is fun. So I think that might have something to do with it. I do like just the whole process of, the bloom and smelling the coffee as it's brewing and just kind of getting your face into it and then just doing that over and over. It's pretty fun. But yeah, I feel like I'm constantly, like if I'm working on a particular bean that I'm roasting and I've roasted it like several different ways, I just want to taste all of those ways and just compare it like over and over. And so I don't know if that answered your question.
That's fine. It kind of. I was just wondering if your coffee intake has just gone up in a day because of how much you're roasting versus before you started roasting.
I think so.
Yeah, that makes sense because that's the case for us. Now, do you find also, Manny, that it's interesting when you roast something, how detailed do you like to get with it? Do you like to, what I mean is maybe you wait a day or two and then you cup it or you try it. And then that the bean and the flavor profile will change as it rests. So now you could wait 2-3 days, 4 days, a week, and you'll be experiencing something different with that particular roast or bean. How far do you take that before you say, okay, this is the one that I'm going to buy and drop some money into and sell?
Well, if you're getting a sample, it depends where you're getting it from. If you're going through like La Bodega, you can get just one sample and it's like a pound and that's it. So you have one chance to kind of get a good understanding of this bean, right? To see is there something here that I want to offer to people? Mm-hmm. So, or you can go through like Sweet Maria's and buy 20 pounds of a particular coffee, to buy 50 or 100 pounds from their what's Sweet
Coffee
Maria's?
Shrub?
Yeah, there you go, from Coffee Shrub right there. So like I'll just talk about this Ethiopian that I'm working on. I want to first determine like what is the proper drop temperature for this. It's a natural coffee, so things are a little different. And it, so I don't have a ton of experience with roasting naturals. I've only roasted a few. So, I kind of like scour the internet and try to get information. So I just do a bunch of different roasts, try different drop temperatures, try different roast curves, try fast, try slow, extend out the drying phase, extend out the Maillard reaction phase, go slowly into first crack, go quickly into first crack. And so, there's so many different ways. I think this one right now, I'm drinking about there's about 9 different ways that I've roasted that I'm tasting this one to kind of nail down a profile right now. I have a drop temperature that I like, and I'm going over a few different times where I've like completed the roast. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I start tasting the coffee sometimes I'll just make a cup that night just to see what's going on, totally understanding that, this is not going to be as it will in 2 days or so, or the next morning.
Sure.
But I'll make enough of it to where I can try this roast over the period of a week or longer in all the different types of brew methods, hot, cold, and just kind of, I just want to see what can this thing do. And then that kind of helps me to see what can I do to it during the roast time to change it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, that's great. So it sounds like you'll get some samples in, and from those samples, you'll be able to at least determine, okay, this one I can tell is a great contender. I might be able to pull some things out, or some others you might find some defects or things that you don't appreciate. And so you pull the trigger on one based on the sample. And then from that sample, now you've got more to work with. You'll go about trying different profiles, applying heat differently, various, changing the variables. And then you like to try them anywhere from, right away, same day, to a week or more out to determine finally which one you are going to then sell. Is that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That's a great process. That's what when you were mentioning earlier, all the variables in figuring out how to roast. Once you figure out your roaster, then you introduce a specific bean. Now you got to figure out how that roaster interacts with that bean.
Yes.
And how that bean handles the heat and the airflow and all those variables. And so you're absolutely right. There comes a point, as you mentioned earlier, when you're trying to get the perfect roast out of that coffee or get it to taste exactly as you want it. Mm-hmm. You feel like you're chasing something so elusive that it might not even exist. And at some point you're gonna be like, all right, this is awesome. I'm enjoying it. I'm sure others will. Let's sell it.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there comes a point where you have to, you get a bean, you roast it, you like it for what it is. And then, you just decide, is this something I want to offer? Yes or no. But it's a little different for really small roasters who are only going to offer a couple different beans. Mm-hmm. Because at that point, you really want something special for yourself and for your customers, something you could really be proud of that stands up in, when somebody opens their cabinet in the morning and they see, some coffee roasters, they see Orange Cactus, and then they see Quill's Coffee. You want them to grab Orange Cactus because there is something special about that bean that just makes them want to go back to that one when they have all these other options.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate your perspective on that. I know we're
It's not the only thing they see when they rock Orange Cactus, Manny. They see a smoking hot box, and they're going to start seeing it with custom printing inside and out. Now, you're not a believer of spending $2 a box on custom packaging when you can get free stuff from the U.S. Postal Service. But how are you going to present me the wow come October?
I mean, that's
USPS branded boxes. That's what I want to know. Because really, this is a conversation that internally, I am trying to put you on blast, but internally, people have this conversation with themselves all the time. Mm-hmm. How much money do I spend to make the experience special versus profitability?
Yeah.
Yes. Because, there's so many different ways to think about this. Like I mentioned the other day, how I received some coffee from a roaster, and the packaging was really nice. And the first thing I thought was, I just spent an extra $2 for this coffee that was already pretty expensive for a box that I'm just going to throw away. So I'm thinking,
now, is that, because really the only person spending the money on those boxes is me from Orange Cactus,
Well, maybe. Because you have to price your coffee in such a way that you're going to be able to buy more green beans and sell coffee to me 2 months down the road, 6 months down the road, a year.
And we're not doing that right now. We're spending more money than we're making on branding, to try and build a brand. So follow what we're doing, and you can spend your way to poverty in business as well. But there comes a point where you have to kind of establish who you are before you can start making money off of it.
Yes.
Is there not?
There's definitely different ways to go about it. if you have like a total brand package that you're offering an experience to someone, your price point is going to be higher, So if somebody, if you spend like $22 for 12 grams of coffee and you've spent like, $25 at the end to just get it into your home and the package looks great, there's reading material inside. And so you're buying this whole experience and the coffee's good too. That's great, but not every customer is going to want to come back to that. Somebody might see that and they say, okay, cool. I spent $25 there. I want that again, but I can't do that again for 3 months, or I can't do that again. Maybe down the road. Those were really cool, but maybe down the road. And that's, some people, you'll put people into that mindset when that end price gets really high. And then like Brandywine, they just throw their stuff into that bubble wrapped free packaging from the post office, and there's it's not great packaging. It's not. You open it up,
but it was great coffee.
The coffee's great, and the bags are great.
Cascara.
So you open your cupboard and you see that coffee bag. You don't see the box that it was shipped in, and that presentation is very important as well. So there's a lot of questions that have to be answered, and there's a lot of perspectives that have to be taken into account. But overall, you have to make a decision, for yourself and for your customer. I think I have to, whatever packaging I ultimately decide on, it needs to be something that is going to represent who I am. It has to have an effect on the people that receive the packaging in a positive way. So I don't know. I'm still not decided. I don't know. I have been looking at Pack Lane and designing boxes and seeing how cool I can make it look, but
You're absolutely right, Manny. I think you have to take into account who's your customer, who's your demographic, because obviously every product you have your high end, you have your middle end, you have your low end. I mean, when you buy something that's thousands of dollars, you expect more. You expect that packaging to be even that much better. I think it's nice when you're pleasantly surprised when you buy something that's, you just expect to come in a standard mailer and it shows up in a nice branded package with custom cutouts. I think that's cool. And we briefly talked about this offline. I think our branding, our journey, one of the things that we came at it with is like, what makes us any different? Why would people want to go with Orange Cactus? Why would they want to go with Uplift? And there's so many answers to that. There's not necessarily one right answer. There's your answer and there's our answer. And I think as long as you're asking that question and trying to find your answer, you're on the right track. And you just have to be willing to commit to that.
Yeah. Well, I think the packaging gets me out of bed in the morning as well.
It excites you. Yeah.
I think there's something to that. I mean, if the packaging doesn't get you out of bed, well, then it's just, one more thing that you have to deal with as a business owner. But to me, it's so exciting. I'd never get tired of putting the boxes together and folding them up and setting the cards on top and hiding the stickers inside and looking at it, touching it, folding it. I never get tired of it. I love it.
That's good.
But, to your point, that box I was talking about that I said, I'm just going to throw it away. I actually have it up on my shelf because it looks cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
It's different. It's different. I have other customers, friends that have kept boxes that say, I just couldn't throw it away. It's cool. I have all of my Apple boxes. I don't know why.
Cupcakes.
I have them because they feel so good. I'm like, I might need this. Maybe I need to put my phone in it when I go on a trip or something. It's never going to happen.
Yeah. Johnny Cupcake says great packaging doesn't get thrown away.
Yeah. It's just hard. You think twice, but ultimately, yes, it probably does get thrown away or recycled. So
I have 4 Orange Cactus boxes on my bookshelf.
But
nice.
Now, is it just because you care about us, or is it have you enjoyed the packaging? And then that's question number 1, and maybe you can answer question number 2 as well, because when we send you packaging, we put custom art in it and a custom handwritten note, and that's in every box that we ship out.
Yeah.
Now with Pack Lane's new ability to print inside and out, Mikey wants to put like kind of the coffee instructions on the inside and maybe print some artwork on the bottom instead of, chalk pastels, kind of custom art.
Yeah.
What do you think that change is going to be better or worse or kind of still the same?
Well, just so you know that my orange cactus boxes that I have up there, they're not just stacked, they're like displayed so you could see them. So that gives you an idea that I like them, right? They look great. They're really cool. But I like the idea of having like brewing instructions on the inside. That's really cool. But if they're all going to be printed and look exactly the same, then you do lose that personal touch that you were putting in there and that your wife was putting in there with the drawings. That's really neat. Like no one's doing that. I've never seen anyone else do that in their packaging. I know a lot of people will write something or even draw a picture, like Cat and Cloud on an invoice I got from them. They had like a little cat drawn in there. And that was pretty cool. But when I have received a package from Orange Cactus, it was special. It was different, but there's a personal relationship, right? I know you guys. I feel like we're friends, right? But if I received a package with that much detail from like good fellas and our good folks in Indianapolis, I would probably think of that brand more highly than I do because of that personal effort that was put into it.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the things that Jake's done before was when we ship something out, we might not know them, but at least we know their address, obviously. So you'll pull out something from where they live and just throw it in there, just something personal, that connects. And I think you're right. That is kind of a neat element that I don't know how you can do that on scale. And we've talked about this. Like, what if we blow up? We're gonna pastel draw on every box.
Yeah.
If we get 100 orders.
Yeah.
Most likely not.
Oh, I'm gonna make the missus draw it. I'm going to make the missus color, but she's tired of it. She's I don't know if she's tired of it.
Well, it's a lot.
It's a lot, though.
It's a lot to do.
Especially because I will Twitter stalk and Facebook stalk and Instagram stalk the people that I think are ordering to try and find something to make it special for them.
Yeah.
And then sometimes the stuff that I want her to draw is not in her wheelhouse. And she looks at me like I'm crazy and says, I'm not doing that. And I say, well, all right, then I'll do it.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
Hire an artist.
But then you also bring up another good point. Putting like the brew instructions on the inside of the lid, I think is cool. But then are they going to keep the box? Is that the best place to have the instructions or the guide?
Maybe better to have a card, huh?
Maybe, or on the bag.
Yeah. We don't have custom printing on the bag.
Yeah,
that's the next step. I think if you get inside outside printing, maybe a portion for some hand, something or other, maybe we'll see. And then custom printing all over the bag. Woo, that's hot. I don't care whether we make any money on it or not.
Well, good. I'm glad. What are we at? We've been.
I don't know. I don't have any way of knowing how long we've been.
Oh,
talking.
Really?
Yeah. So this is probably 2 episodes, maybe 3. But I'm going to release them all next week.
My battery's flashing. We're about to lose it.
Yeah. So
we
I'm
have been recording for
week.
an hour and 18 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's kind of right where we're normally at. I might break it up. I might break this up and put it into 2.
Put it into
do the
2.
Monday Thursday thing that Mike was so against.
That would be Monday. You'd have 2 weeks worth.
No. I would do Monday and Thursday.
And noteworthy. I've heard.
I've heard that if you podcast twice a week for 8 weeks, you'll get on New and Noteworthy on the Apple iTunes store under podcasts.
Yeah, it's not true.
It's not true?
Nope.
No.
Not true.
Well, you got to try it. See what happens.
We should try it again. we would launch a new podcast. See if we can get on there.
Yeah, maybe a new podcast.
Yeah, instead of Ristretto, we'll do the long
Daily Longo. Longo.
It's just you. The Ristretto's you in the AM, and the Longo's you in the PM.
Oh,
great
man.
idea.
Or yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Anyhow, thank you so much for listening. Thanks for tuning in to Mike Kincaid, Jake Goebel, and the Manny G.
Thanks for having me,
about
guys.
coffee.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for coming on and giving us an update about what you're doing. We hope to have you on again soon. And I know Jake's going to hold you to that October 15th deadline.
All right.
My spirit
I better
and
get
soul
busy.
are always uplifted when you come on the show, Manny.
Well, good.
Absolutely. So thanks so much. Until next time, everybody, happy brewing. Wait, I think, I was listening to another coffee
Happy
podcast.
brewing. What
Wait. I think I was like, they say that on the end of every episode. Manny, you probably know, you listen to all of them. And I think, I wonder if they think I'm stealing that. I didn't mean to. It's just like something you want to sign off. You want to say something consistent.
But I record something else and sign off.
Yeah, but I want to say goodbye.
Well, then you need to start doing the podcasts.
Well, no, I'm going
do
to
the audio work.
Like right now, like say goodbye. And then you can have the
Should
exit.
we not have the exit?
You have the intro and the exit. I'm trying to throw a little bit of me in.
Well,
there.
maybe we could just end it with this. Manny, do you want to say that, that they can find show notes at orangecactuscoffee.com/episode 72?
72. There you go.
Perfect. All right, go ahead. Mike, sign us off.
You just did.
No, you have to use your catchphrase.
Well, I was just saying, I think my catchphrase is copyrighted. Somebody else uses it. So I got insecure
You might need
about
a new
it.
catchphrase then.
All right.
You need a new catchphrase.
All right. Stay thirsty.
Somebody else's.
Oh, this is okay. Always pour in the clockwise direction. How's that?
There you go.
Terrible.
Which side of the equator does that
no.
apply to?
I just thought of that. And, unless you're in
needs work.
Australia.
It needs a little work.
Yeah, unless you're on the bottom side of the date line.
Manny, what's your catchphrase? Do you have a catchphrase?
Not yet. I'm still working on it.
Stay
But
uplifting.
by October, what was the date? I'll have
October
a catchphrase.
15th.
I'll have a catchphrase by October 15th.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, we're going to try this again. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I won't ruin it this time.